Hello everyone, I'm Park Seni, your psychological mentor. So you all know about protective coloration, right? Animals like chameleons change the color of their bodies to match their surroundings. The reason is that since they're weak, it's a strategy to lower the chance of being detected by predators and to increase their chances of survival. What about venomous snakes? Do they have protective coloration or not? No. Venomous snakes don't need protective coloration because they have powerful venom that can kill with a single bite. That's why they tend to look rather dark and not very flashy. On the other hand, non-venomous snakes are often very colorful and flashy. That way, they have to exaggerate and display their vulnerable side outwardly. Only then can they survive, and that's something they've come to realize over time. But in fact, this isn't true strength, it's more like bluffing or putting on a show. But humans, too, if they lack solid knowledge or haven't had any fundamental realizations, often adopt a kind of camouflage, much like what we see in the animal kingdom. So they might deliberately speak more harshly or forcefully, or even use a lot of crude language. In this way, they try to keep their weaknesses from being exposed, and some people even think that this serves as a kind of threat to others. But in reality, people who put on this kind of camouflage on the outside simply haven't had certain experiences yet. If they ever get seriously put in their place by someone truly strong, they come to realize that such tactics no longer work. So sometimes, even during counseling sessions, there are people who, for the sake of their own growth, are able to acknowledge and accept what I say. Those people are the ones who make progress and can truly become strong. That's why there are many people who benefit a lot from this kind of help. But then when I try to help someone by encouraging them to reveal things about themselves, and I start to dig into each detail one by one, there are some people who can't handle that. That means their heart is a bit fragile. So as a kind of protective mechanism, when I try to bring up something important, they keep trying to smooth things over by talking about something else, trying to cover it up, or using exaggerated gestures and diverting attention elsewhere. When I see those kinds of behaviors, I realize, this person is really quite sensitive at heart. So after a certain point, when I notice someone is that sensitive, I slow things down a bit and focus on strengthening their education step by step so that they can eventually face things directly. In fact, it's usually those who are truly vulnerable who put on that kind of protective facade. For example, even with gangsters who get a lot of tattoos, I don't think people who are genuinely strong would really do that. On the contrary, it's usually the weaker people who focus excessively on outward appearances like that. And they also tend to stick together in groups. So if you truly want to become strong, don't get hung up on things like protective coloration or keep trying to create those kinds of outward displays. Instead, realize the truly important core values, whether in your field or in the essence of life, and keep making steady efforts. When you do that, there will come a time when others recognize and acknowledge your strength, even without you needing any protective coloration or having to show off how strong you are. Well, in any case, I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. I'll see you again next time. Always stay strong. Thank you.